Oh, beautiful soul family. My name is Rebecca, your Vibe mentor, and this channel is for purpose-driven entrepreneurs. And here we help you overcome the blocks that keep you from your purpose so that you can manifest abundance and assist in creating heaven on earth. So let's talk today about technically the number one thing that I believe holds purpose-driven entrepreneurs back is complex trauma. But within complex trauma, also known as conditioning or programming, underneath that is the trauma responses. And the two trauma responses that I see that holds back purpose-driven entrepreneurs, or really anyone who is trying to start a business, is two things. One, overgiving, and two, ego. Now we'll start with overgiving because that really is the bigger conversation. Overgiving is a part of the fawn response and sometimes the freeze response as well. But how does overgiving show up, and why is it such a negative in our lives? How does it hold us back? So we've been given this confused interpretation of what it means to be of service, that technically complex trauma is not feeling safe, seen, heard, cared for, or loved for an extended period of time at any point in your life, but usually in childhood. And because of that, it caused us to believe that there was something wrong with us. And so because we have become, and we've learned to believe that there's something wrong with us, we then have something to prove. And that's kind of how both the overgiving and the ego are connected in this sense, is that the overgiving is coming from a place of lack instead of a place of abundance. That overgiving is similar to people pleasing. It's wanting at its best, and it hurts not only ourselves, but also the person on the receiving end. That we become an enabler by doing for people things they could do for themselves. We cause their muscles to atrophy and stunt their growth. Now, we also end up, especially as light workers, playing small because of that trauma and wounding and conditioning that made us believe that there was something wrong with us. And here's one of the biggest ahas that I have had through the coaching that I have the privilege and honor to be able to assist with or conduct, is that 9 out of 10, 99.9% of the time, the people who come to me all have said to me, people just didn't like me and I didn't know why. Or I rubbed people the wrong way, or I triggered people really easily. And here's the thing. When we are built to shine brightly, that is for a reason. That is for a purpose. And part of the purpose, not all of it, but part of the purpose is to trigger other people. But we received the program that our triggering of other people was a problem. It meant something was bad about us. And of course, another trauma response is hypersensitivity. So we become very sensitive to our environment. We become empathic, sensing how everyone else is feeling as a survival mechanism. We need to know what's going on in the world around us. What mask do I need to wear? How do I not rock the boat so that I don't trigger anyone? And in that, we start to play small. Because whoever we are or however we're showing up somehow triggers these people. We have come to believe that it's our problem and it's our problem to fix or to solve. Now, one, of course, somatic healing. If you follow me, you know I'm all about brain spotting. It is the key that saved my life, even after trying every other modality out there. This is the thing that works. Somatic healing, somatic therapy is necessary to be able to heal and remove these blocks that are really in the body. The body keeps the score, right? But in order to remove those and get those out of the way, or really, I should say, in order to be able to tolerate and withstand the sensitivity and being able to feel what other people feel, so that we don't fawn, we don't people please, we don't fix the problem for them, we don't crumble under the weight of feeling their pain. One, we have to desensitize those triggers and heal those wounds through somatic therapy. But two, we also have to rephrase, reinterpret, tell ourselves a new story, find a new perspective. They say that a miracle is a shift in perspective. We have to ask God, source, creator, divine universe, show me the truth of this situation, because we are viewing it from our own human perspective. We have put a filter between us and the truth. And so as we ask for that new perspective, we start to see the truth is that when we trigger people, it is a gift. That yes, I feel this discomfort. I know what you're feeling, and I know it's really uncomfortable, and I'm uncomfortable with you. We become the compassionate witness, and we say, I understand how you're feeling, and I know that really sucks, but I'm not going to be able to solve that for you. I am so willing to sit with you and be in it with you, but I can't solve that for you. That's not my problem. And that can sound kind of harsh. So sometimes we don't say that's not my problem, but we help people see how they can be empowered to fix those things. So if we really are able to take a detached step back and understand our sensitivity is a gift, it helps us become that compassionate witness and sit in the discomfort with the other so that they can move through it and empower them by being with them through it. We can also see that our triggering them is the gift that helps them see where the wound is so they can heal. This helps us understand that we are being of service. We are being a light worker by triggering people, by being big and beautiful and bright and shining, and also showing them they don't have to stay in the mud, stay stuck in that quicksand of unhealed beliefs, limiting perspectives, wounding and triggering. We start to be able to see, once we've healed, once we start to see this overgiving, we start to see that it is necessary for all parties involved for the relationship to be reciprocal. It has to be an equal give and take. Otherwise, it's not sustainable. Overgiving, again, is enabling bad behavior. It's teaching them to take and not to give. And you are stunting their growth, not to mention hurting yourself by draining yourself. And then we become maybe even bitter or resentful, certainly fatigued, overwhelmed, shut down. We want to teach people to sweep in front of their own door, because if everyone starts to take care of themselves, start to work on their own healing, start to ensure that their own needs are met, then it's not put on someone else as their responsibility. Because anyone who has to deal with my own stuff and your stuff is going to be fatigued, including you. While you are a powerful, superhuman light worker, you are not capable of fixing it for everyone else. And the psychological theory of the diathesis model is we are like a cup and we can only handle so much. And when we reach the top of that cup, we will spill over. We are no longer coming from a place of love or compassion. We're coming from a place of frustration and overwhelm and shutdown. We are not able to shine the way we were meant to. Overgiving is never virtuous. And that is where it can be kind of tricky, as we fall into this deceiving perspective that my overgiving is helping, because we want to help. We want to be of service. We want to make the world a better place. We want people to be able to heal, but that's not how we do it. And in fact, it requires a little bit of self-honesty and discipline to be willing to say, I have to do the hard thing first, which is heal myself and sit in the discomfort with you. But on the other side of that hard thing is all of the reward that you have been seeking. The life that you desire and dream of is available to you when you can move through this. So I like to suggest that you choose your heart, because to me, it seems a whole lot harder to live in that unhealed place, the wounded, overgiving, constant pain of never being able to realize your potential, never being in reciprocating relationships, never receiving the love and respect that you deserve, never stepping into your purpose, constantly overgiving, depleted, exhausted. I don't know about you, but if I take a minute or two, and I would highly encourage you to do this, take a minute or two and imagine, where will you be at in 10 or 20 years if you don't change? If things continue to go the way they're going right now, What will you have to do to be able to sustain that? For me, there was a lot of coping mechanisms. There's a lot of numbing out that would have been required to stay in that. And I never would be here now. I would never come close to even marginally achieving my potential. I would have failed my children as a mother. There are so many things. This is so much harder to stay in this. So we can choose temporary hard for initial tremendous gain and reward, or we can choose perpetual hard for the rest of your life. And you'll have to look at what coping mechanisms are going to be necessary to continue to do that. So just kind of at a high level, what does fawning look like? It's people pleasing, it's overgiving, which ends up being self-harm in the end, struggling to say no or set boundaries for yourself, feeling responsible for other people's reactions, struggling to be seen or respected, not being able to ask for what you need, lashing out when overwhelmed, and then feeling guilty or for yourself, feeling guilty at and angry at yourself for being angry, which is such a conundrum. It's a cycle too, because then you'll be upset with yourself that you got frustrated, and then the frustration will create more overwhelm, and it's the crazy eight. I think Tony Robbins talks about that. We'll compromise our values. We'll even disassociate in social situations. Again, if you are, like I like to refer to, that wounded seeker, you're perpetually, or even the unseen light worker, you're perpetually in that hidden phase of healing or hermit mode, but there's no real progress. We're stuck there. And social isolation is a part of that, right? We might space out, we might withdraw. You may even go blank when you're in social situations. That was one that was really hard for me, that people were not safe. And so just being in the presence of someone else would cause my nervous system to flare up. My limbic brain would swell, my prefrontal cortex would go offline, and I would completely forget everything I wanted to say. And I would look like, in my perspective at the time, an idiot for not being able to speak or hold a conversation. But again, all of that was just a maladaptive trauma response. So just remember that we're not overgiving from a place of niceness. We're overgiving from a place of lack, from a place of need. A need to prove our value and worth, a need to be respected, a need to be appreciated, a need to be seen, a need to be validated. And then, of course, it can only lead to resentment, because that's not a sustainable solution. Then comes overwhelm. We're certainly taken for granted because we are teaching people to use us. We don't prove our value and worth, and we never actually end up receiving the need we were trying to meet. We never feel valuable, worthy, loved, respected. Because in the end, as within, so without. So because we lack it, we will continue to lack it. This is an unresourceful model. So remember, true service comes from a place of abundance. Okay. Lastly, 9 ways to know if you are overgiving. 1, you can only give and you struggle to receive. 2, you may even feel guilty when someone gives to you. 3, you certainly cannot ask for what you need. 4, you may even struggle to know what it is you need. 5, it feels uncomfortable not to give. If you see someone struggling, it's difficult for you to restrain yourself, right? You have to work at not helping and not reaching out. It feels uncomfortable not to solve other people's problems. 7, you put others' needs before your own. You usually are always last, if at all. And 8, you apologize excessively. This was one that I really struggled with. I would apologize. Someone opened the door and held the door for me as I walked in a building, I would say, I'm sorry. There's just, there's no justification for that. There should be thank you. Go in, accept the open door. Like, an open door was hard to receive. I would have to apologize for that, right? And number 9, you give in order to feel loved, appreciated, valued, and respected. So if any of that resonates with you, if you struggle with overgiving, you are not alone. This is one of the most common trauma responses. I will also cover sort of how the ego is showing up and how it's holding light workers back in another video coming very, very soon. But for today, if you need any assistance in the healing process, I do offer free 30-minute sessions below. Otherwise, we also have the New Earth Construction Team community, where I am putting most of my masterclasses and courses, and you can access them at any time as soon as they are there. for a minimum dollar amount, or very marginal dollar amount, I should say, of $20 a month. If you join us now, you will be grandfathered in at that price for life, even when prices go up, because you will be one of the founding members as we get the community started. So we would love to welcome you there. So you have two choices: one-on-one with me for free, or community and support and joining the New Earth Construction team, which we have coined the acronym NEST. So it is a very safe and warm and comforting and healing place to be. Please do come join us. We would love to see you there. All right. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share if there's anybody that you know could benefit from this video, and I will see you on the next one. Namaste, my friends. Sending lots of love.